Hi, my name is Kevin McDonald, and I'm declaring my independence. Independence from what? Why, negative thoughts and energy, of course. Chief among them, hate, division, and fear. You see, I know that we're all one, and together we can solve any problem, save our planet and each other. Please, join me as we come together as one and choose a better way to be. So now, let's begin with my independence report. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of my Independence Report. That's Eric Hall sitting right over there, and it's exciting to have him here because I got a couple of announcements. Were you ever a Cub Scout or a Boy Scout?
I was. In fact, I made it all the way to Weeblo.
Yeah, that's Cub Scouts of the highest order.
Yes, it was. I was a Weeblo.
Yeah,
However, don't say that in the wrong bar.
No, that's a bad thing. But a couple things. First of all, we're going to have to explain to people that are going to listen to us in the future what exactly a transient is, and stuff. And we are going to create. I've made an executive decision that we're going to create a segment, and we're going to call it that. And we're going to put your picture on the opening. So what do you think of that?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, that sounds great. So
what the hell's a transient?
Well, transient, it started from people that get on the bus because, as you know, Kevin, being a bus driver, a one-time bus driver, many of our good riders are people that are transient, and they get on the bus and they go somewhere else, and then they get off the bus and then they're transients for, a bit of time. However, in the larger scheme of things, we're all kind of transients because we take the bus or we travel somewhere, and we're mobile. We're constantly moving. We're evolving. Just because we participate in the world, we're in constant state of change. And I like to observe that. I like to write about that. It's something that I like to engage in the changing process.
It's a good changing process too, because you get to see stuff from a whole different viewpoint. I just love the viewpoint that we have.
It's absolutely fascinating, getting to watch people as a bus driver, because I have to tell you, people don't always know that they're being watched, and I'm very respectful of this, and sometimes I kid about it. People don't fully understand when I say I'm a people watcher. I really am interested in what people do, and I've been doing it a long time, that I watch people in a way that they don't know that they're being watched. I consider myself a voyeur, but not in a sexual way, just in a way that people, you can see their humanity in a moment when they're not aware that they're being human.
Yes. It's without a doubt. Now, we got to ask you, do you ever dream about being a bus driver?
Yeah. Yeah. I've had these horrible, dreams. You probably had these too, man. They're kind of upsetting because, in fact, I've had this one recurring dream that changes a little bit, but it's a recurring dream that I pull into the base. And I pull into the parking garage of the bus, right? There's a tip, because we don't have a parking garage for the buses. I go up to the ramp that we go up to the ramp to put the bus on, and then we come down so the mechanics can look at the bus as we pull over to look what's under it, see if there's any dead folk or what have we picked up. And then we come back down the ramp, and I'm pushing on the brakes, and it won't stop, and I'm coming at it, no matter what I do, and I can't reach the pedal, and I come to, and then I wake up.
Have you ever gotten lost? I've had dreams where I've been lost and end up somewhere where I can't get out of, and I can't pick it up, and I can't move the bus, and then people are yelling at me, and it's they're nightmares. They are the worst possible thing that can happen on a bus. I had a dream about one last night. But a guy gets on the bus and passes me by. He shows me a crumpled transfer that's clearly a third of the length that it's supposed to be, and he said, "That's good, right?" And I said, "Well, no, it's expired." And so he comes and he starts hitting on me and beating me up, and it's like, and fortunately that never happened. But
good.
I tell you, that was one of those. There have been times, Eric, when I've literally had to get up out of bed, walk around the house, wake up enough so that I don't go back and continue the same dream on. I have to change the channel, but sometimes it's hard to change the channel. You know, I even had a dream that I was driving a bus and then suddenly I was flying an airplane.
Really?
Yeah, and
probably going too fast.
Apparently. So it's weird when we just sit and we have dreams about what we used to do, or what I used to do, what you do every day, and it stays with you after a while.
It does, man. It does, man. You know, I got lost for real once.
Did you really?
I did, and I fortunately I didn't have anybody on the bus, and it was hilarious when I found out what they did to deal with me, because you know there's a point. I found out there's a point that they deal with you in a way that they don't have time to deal with you, so they just figure out what to do so that you're okay, and they'll get back to you later because they don't have time to walk you through. You know, so I was somewhere in Renton, and they said, "Okay, tell me, go up to the next stop." And that has numbers on it, stop there and then call us back. So I go up to the next stop that had numbers. It was 2-3 stops before it had numbers. So I call them. It takes about 5 minutes, as you know, sometimes for them to pick up, you know, to get to you. So I tell them what number it is and go, that doesn't make sense. So what's on your left? And I said, well, there's a golf course on my left and there's a cemetery on my right. Oh, okay. Well, keep following that road. You're going to follow that road for about 40 minutes and you're going to come to Kent Kangley Road. And when you get to Kent Kangley Road, take a right at, I forget what it was, and go to the second light and then go to that next stop and park and then call us back. I said, 45 minutes, really? And they said, yeah. And I said, okay. And I said, well, okay. And she said, it's a beautiful day. Just relax and have a nice time. Don't worry about it. This happens. It's okay. So I said, oh, okay. And it was a beautiful day. I enjoyed the trees, you know, a lot of beautiful deciduous trees, you know, leafy. So I just drove on down there.
Those are leafy trees, if you're wondering. I've learned that in our association together.
So there's glimpses of Mount Rainier and all. It was a beautiful day. So about 45 minutes later, I got to that intersection. I took a right and I found that stop and set the emergency brake. I called them and, you know, okay, go up 2 more intersections, take a right, follow that road down. You'll see I-67 or 167 followed in. You'll see where you're at. So that's what I did. I got back to the road. I talked to another bus driver. He goes, yeah, they do that, man. If somebody is beyond hope and they don't have time to deal with you, that's what they do. It was a little embarrassing if it wasn't so damn funny, you know.
Yeah. And of course they are at this. For those of you that have never been to a control center, it is a bunch of tables with computers on them, and there's a bunch of electronics everywhere. And there are people that are sitting there, and one coordinator, they call them coordinator, he may have as many as 200 buses that he's working with. And it's been more than one time when you'll get over the intercom. It'll say, attention all drivers, unless this is an absolute emergency, and I mean an emergency, don't give us a call. And so you don't call them when it's an emergency. and stuff. So, but they try really hard to be nice. But the thing is, you can't back the thing up. Have you ever backed up a 60-footer?
Officially, no. Absolutely not, Kevin. Not ever, ever, never, never. No.
We wouldn't do that.
Not me.
Have you ever had to? Have you ever locked one up?
No. You know what? No. I was going to tell you a story, but I'm going to save that for some time after I retire and my retirement checks are coming in.
then you'll be able to say, "Oh yeah, that's." I've locked up. Now let me explain what we're talking about here. On the articulated buses, those are the ones that bend in the middle. They only allow you to bend so much, and if you bend them too much, then the bus will lock up. Yep, and then when it locks up, I mean everything locks up. The brakes go and nothing you can do nothing. So I was I was in downtown Seattle and I was going down 3rd Avenue. I was headed towards the Seattle Center, and I get passed by a bunch of emergency vehicles. And just so happens that they were turning where I was supposed to turn to go down to Broad. And so they blocked off that street. So I called it in and said, there's a fire emergency or something going on. So I'm not going to be able to make that turn to go down to 1st Avenue and then go out that way towards Puget Sound. And so he said, all right, do this. Stop, go one street short, take a left, take another left, take another left, and then go to Mercer, and then take a left, and then you'll be back where you want to go. And I said, okay, great. I'll just do left, and I'll be fine. Well, when I get to the last left, which is Mercer Street, there's this great big old sign above me that says, no left turn. It's got that little arrow that says no left turn on it.
Whoops.
And I said, well, he told me to go there, and I'm sure he knows what he's talking about. So I make that turn, and I make it almost completely, except for the pole that was. So I had the thing cranked all the way to turn it as best I could, and there was a pole there that stopped me from continuing further. And now, if for those of you that are not from Seattle, Mercer Street is a major thoroughfare, and right next to the Seattle Center, there's 5 streets that converge at that light.
That's a bizarre intersection.
Yes, and my little butt was right in the middle of the intersection.
Oh boy, that's not a little butt. That's an 80-foot. That's a 60-foot butt, man.
Yes. So it's locked up. I've got probably 45, 50 people on the bus.
Ooh.
And it was late during rush hour, like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And so I cannot move. So I call it in. And I say, I cannot move. I've locked it up. I tried to make that turn. I didn't make that turn. I've locked it up. I need assistance, because what we need is somebody, a supervisor, to come and help us back the thing up. And in this case, they have to unlock it. Once it's locked up, I cannot do a thing. And so he said, well, we don't have any supervisors available. At that moment, I get a knock on the window from a nightstick.
Uh-oh.
Clink, 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 clink. It's the Seattle Police Department, and he's going, what the hell happened to you? And I said, well, I tried to make the corner. He told me I could make the corner, but I couldn't make the corner, and now I'm locked up. And he said, well, can you back up? And I said, I'm not supposed to back these things up, and it's locked up. So the brakes are locked up, everything's locked up. So he said, well, you're going to have to move this bus. And I said, well, the coordinator, they said that there's no supervisor there to help me. Do you know how to drive a bus? He looked at me like I was in my mind. And he said, no, never done that. And so I called the coordinator back, and he says, "Have you ever unlocked the bus before?" And I said, "No, I have no idea how to do any of that." And he said, "Well, what you need to do is to go stand on your seat and reach above the bus, and you take the dash the panel off above where the driver sits, and it's pretty high up there. And then there's a button that says release."
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, in this case it was, but there's just something that you need to know before you hit release. It's like having sudden diarrhea, because when you hit release, everything goes.
Oh,
So I'm standing on the seat, and I hit, but nobody tells me this, of course, because experience is the best teacher. So nobody tells me that. So I hit the release button, and the bus starts to move.
oh no.
Oh yes. And the policeman is standing right outside the bus saying, "Sir, the bus is moving. The bus is moving. The bus is moving." And it's
Oh no.
oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. And so I get down, and fortunately there was nobody right behind me. And because it started going backwards, so I didn't hit the pole, but I was going backwards and started to do a bit of so I stopped it, and then I started to negotiate my way just a little bit, by a foot at a time, backing up a little bit, then thinking I got enough and to make it around the pole and stuff. And finally, another Metro driver saves my life by taking my mirror and collapsing my mirror so that I would get by that thing. But that was so I make it by.
My
Lights are
God.
on. Everything is better, and the people on the bus are actually cheering.
Dude.
They're giving me applause for making it through that little nightmare. And then I said, so I get on the intercom, and I probably shouldn't have said this, but you know how I am. I have the right to remain silent, but I don't have the ability sometimes. So I get on the microphone and said, "Thank you very much. By the way, does anybody have a drink?"
You deserved it.
I need a vodka. Give me something. Give me some stronger water.
It.
And stuff. So anyway, that's one of the bus stories of what can happen to you suddenly, and if you're not prepared for it, it can be a really bad disaster. So you really have got to be careful about that. So now that I've told you that,
that's the stuff of nightmares, man.
Now, are you driving an articulated bus now?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, on Route 50, which Route 50 has no business having articulated buses. I don't know why.
Theoretically, because they've got the ridership is high enough, but probably not.
Well, I think the three people that I pick up have plenty of room. They're not large people. They're not like you and I. They're, you know,
they're not full of girth and vitality like us.
They're rather petite. I think they're juice drinkers, as a matter of fact. Well, fruit juice type. They juice their own. Yeah.
Well, the bad news is, now that I've said that to you, guess what?
What?
You're gonna lock up a bus. And when you do, you're gonna be swearing at me, and
because I'm just the idiot that'll try that on my own. Because that story that I'm saving, I'm tempted to tell you, but I think I gotta save that, because just by luck, somebody would tune in just this once when I tell that story. Statute of limitations is not long enough yet.
Well, no, the way it works is, as long as you didn't hit something that you can't cover up.
And nobody complained.
No.
In fact, similar to you, I got applause.
Yeah. So. Well, and I had another bus driver who was in my part-time class walk up to me one time, and he said, "Boy,
have I screwed up now? And I said, what'd you do? And they said, well, I kind of short circuited or short routed this corner, and I put a dent in the bus. And I said, did you call it in? No. Did you do a accident report? No. Was I supposed to? And I said, well, now you're left with what I call positive deniability. Meaning that if nobody brings it up, I wouldn't bring it up either. If I were you,
that's the last option.
That it is. It's plausible deniability. That's what it is. Plausible deniability. I don't know anything about that, sir. It might have happened, but I don't recall it and stuff. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah. You're a bad influence on Eric. I don't think Kevin has to worry.
I can. You're fully capable of but you're like me. You're not going to call in something that you can. If you believe, I believe, Lord, that I can get myself out of this here situation without having to call it in and having somebody think that I'm stupid or that I am.
They tell us in training, don't bust yourself. Don't bust yourself. And they tell us, be honest too. Don't hide anything from them, but don't get yourself in trouble. So, I take that to heart. I don't, if I get lost or if I take a wrong turn and I know that I'm going to have a difficult time, I call it in and say, hey, I took a wrong turn. I tell them, but there are times that I've taken a wrong turn and I know that I can pick up a bus route and recover it. I just pick up a bus route and recover it. I know, when to do it, when not to, because they're busy people. They don't have time to cover everything of my stupid errors. But there are times, that I haven't read the reroutes. That's when you get in trouble. That's when you get in trouble, because then it's too late. You've got a bus full of people, and all of a sudden there's, a construction going on and a detour, and your dumbass is sitting there and you're trying to get somewhere that the bus probably cannot. And, somebody that's, watching what you do is kind enough to say, hey, idiot, you can't get the bus through there. I was on the bus yesterday and we were stuck for half an hour. And I'm thinking, well, fuck you, I can get through there. So I go ahead and try it. And I get through there with a half inch on three sides of the bus just fine. It takes me 5 minutes to get through there, but I get through unscathed. And I do it out of the stubbornness of, of myself. I'm just stubborn that way.
Yeah. So what's the getting stuck? What's the worst getting stuck you've ever, barring this one story that you're going to save for later? What's the worst that you've ever gotten stuck?
Stuck. I haven't gotten stuck.
Oh,
I haven't gotten stuck.
Here's a good one for you.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that I've had probably in 11 years, I had probably everything that could possibly happen to me at one time or another. So cool. I am on Rainer Avenue, and I'm going to take a left and go to Sunset because I'm going to go up onto Martin Luther King and go to Seattle. I was driving the 101, and so I turn, and I see a car in front of me in the zone, stopped, and then I look to the front of the car, and I see these two legs sticking out, and this whoever was underneath the car, his legs were shaking violently.
Oh God! Oh no!
And I had pulled up right behind. Right behind this car, and then by the time I assessed the situation, that I needed to figure out how to get out of there because I needed to go around him, and it's a major stop. So there were probably 15 people standing there, And I opened the door, and one guy said, "Yeah, man, a guy just got hit right there." And so and it was at that point that I start to hear sirens. And I see 1, 2, 3 fire engines, and they park themselves, one in front of me, one directly beside me in the middle of the street, and one behind me.
Oh, great.
That's what I said.
Great. God bless them.
Yeah, so then I have to call it in. Hi, this is 101 number 12. I'm stuck behind a car that just hit a man, and the medics are here. And he said, "You didn't do it, did you?" I said, "No, it had nothing to do with me." But unfortunately, I didn't see it until I was at the zone. And so now I've got police, and I've got firemen, and I've got everybody here, and I am effectively blocked in. And he was like, "Okay, that's all right." And then he calls, and what they also do is they like to play around sometimes with the announcer button. So he gets on, and he said, attention all operators, the 101 number 12 is stuck behind a fire truck at a pedestrian accident. No, it wasn't involving our bus, but he's just stuck there." So I was stuck there for an hour while because they had to move the guy, and they had to do all the stuff that you do when somebody, the ambulance comes, and then the tow truck comes, because they were taking that car. I don't know how those people got home, but so
not cool.
No, so just but I feel sorry for the coordinators, because they have to deal with 200 knuckleheads like me. The
guy lived. The guy that got hit, did he live?
He hit his head and had a seizure. That's why but we think he lived. That's the one thing that I've never been part of, which was a fatal accident. That would you haven't hit anybody either, I assume.
No, but I hit a pigeon last week.
Oh, I hit a crow once.
Did you?
Yeah. So you hit the pigeon didn't make it, did it?
No, and I gave this damn pigeon every break. I was at the Northgate Transit Center, and it was the only pigeon. Maybe this had something to do with it. And I have to wonder if pigeons, if animals at times commit suicide, because I swear I was going 1 mile, 2 miles per hour tops as this pigeon, sort of waddled in front of me, and then started going from my left across. So it saw my butt. How does a pigeon not see a bus? Now, you've seen these, videos. I know people have seen these videos online, pigeon versus a young hawk, pigeon versus catfish, pigeon versus, cat, whatever. And pigeons always lose. I mean, let's face it, they just don't have the weaponry. They got the little beaks, and they got the little claws, and most times they act confused. They don't really know what's going on. They don't know they're losing their life.
Right.
Until it's over. And I don't know what was going on with this pigeon, but I was moving so slow up on it, and then it disappeared underneath the front of my bus, and I kept looking to the left or right, waiting for it to fly out, and I kind of came to a stop, and then I started moving again, 1-2 miles an hour. No pigeon. And I just went back around, because I went to do my layover. Did my layover, and as I came around again to where I had the pigeon accident, there was the fresh kill. This little head got squeezed off, man.
Oh,
yeah, it was terrible.
Did you fill out an accident report?
I did.
I killed a pigeon.
I should have went in. I should have went in and had distress. Took a distress leave.
Yeah, but I've done that too. Have you ever done that?
Distress leave?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, well, here's another good one. I was driving the one. I feel like an old time. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when we are at the bullpen, which is what they call the little waiting area where drivers sit while they're waiting to take off. And then we start swapping stories like this, and it really is quite entertaining. But I was driving the 106, and I was about ready to turn the corner of a particular street to make a left turn, and there's 3 or 4 cops, lights on, in the zone. A supervisor van in the zone. They're all there with me. And so I pull in the middle of the street because that's all that I've got left. And so and then a couple people get off. Supervisor comes up to me and he says, "This guy's going to take a ride up to the top of the hill." So, all right, why? And he said, because and the front of the bus that was sitting there, the windshield was smashed. Part and he said, yeah, some guy is mad at him, and so he tried to get on the bus, and he had a big old log, and he hit the front of the bus and broke the window, and then he got on another and kept going. And I said, we let him get on another bus? So we didn't know, and all this kind of stuff. So the police were there, and he said, this is the guy who the guy was mad at, and we're going to put him on your bus. And I said, well, now there's a good idea. Why don't you have the police take him home? Because and he said, well, I wouldn't worry about it. It's not a big deal. So I go winding up the hill, which is where I got to go next. Now, you know where this story is going. And I get to the top of the hill, and I'm turning. There's a natural turn there, so I can then see around the corner. And there's a guy. He's not wearing a shirt. He looks like. Do you know who Dwayne Johnson is? The Rock.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
He looked like him.
Oh, good Lord.
He was real buffed out. He had no hair. He had a shaved head and stuff, and he was stripped to the waist. And he had what I would affectionately call a tree trunk in his hand.
Oh shit.
and the guy who was the guy that he was after said, "Oh no, there he is!
Oh God,
he's standing at my stop." And I said, well, I'm not going to let you get off here. That would be silly, because then you defeated the whole purpose of ruining a perfectly good bus to get you home. And then I drop you off here and he kills you. So he sees, as I'm going by, this guy who's looking intently at the bus, sees this other guy and starts running after the bus.
Man.
And so fortunately, and going up the bus going up a hill doesn't go very fast anyway. But so I was trying really, really hard to get the bus going. Come on, baby, let's go. And he said, "Oh, my socks and garters." And the guy said, well, you're not going to drop me off? I said, do you want to die? And he said, no. I said, I'll drop you off a couple of blocks up here and then give you a chance. Called it in, and I said, I've got a guy with a log chasing the bus. Can you please help me?
I've got a hairy Bigfoot.
Yeah, so finally I let him off and was able to continue going, but it was a bit of a scary experience. So I go into work the next day, and I say, I would like somebody, because I thought about it all night, because you do think about these things all night long, replaying them in your head, thinking about, well, what if it was a gun, not a knife, or a stick, and stuff. And so I go in and I say, well, I don't know that what if it was a gun? And he said, no, you're not allowed to think that way.
Oh, pardon me.
Pardon me all the hell, but but this was a big man, and he was going to kill me. And and she said, no, you can't think that way. Can't think that way. And I said, well, I just don't feel fit to drive today. And she said, well, why don't you go ahead and take today off? So, I did, but those sorts of things that can happen to you. God dang, I got memories. They're flooding in, Eric. They're flooding into my head.
Uh-oh. See, I'm a bad influence on him, Paulette. Oh.
And it's
it's okay. You know, stuff like it's a daily thing, from the horrific like that to just the ridiculous. In fact, the same day I drove over a pigeon, the police stopped me. I was going down Fremont Avenue, which, as you know, has a lot of bars and a lot of the pot huts, you know.
Oh yeah.
And policeman came out on the street across his arm, so I had to stop. And there was a lady at the bus stop. She was just downing these beers. I wasn't going to stop, because she had all these beers out and she wasn't really waiting for a bus. She was just downing beers. So I was just starting to continue on my way, and he stepped out, his arms folded and kind of, made me stop. So I stopped, and he, signaled her, get on the bus. And she meekly picked up all of her stuff and got on. And she didn't pay, of course. She just got on, and it took her a little bit to get on the seat. And 2 stops later, she got off the bus and left one of her beers behind, which, did spill. And it was a full beer, so I had, my bus smelled like a brewery.
Of course.
This is just, the way it is.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Policeman. I love you looking out for us and the kind citizens of Seattle.
Yes, and they don't particularly care. It's like, I want this person gone, and that will take care of that.
That worked for them.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. So during my break, I called it in, and during my break, they told me to take it through the hut, and they sent out a guy with a mop and a broom, and they cleaned up my abused beer.
Yeah, I told you my favorite throw up story, didn't I?
No, but this sounds just wonderful.
Oh, I'm driving the 150, and I'm going to Seattle, and I'm going to stop at Convention Place, and I hear this muffling noise in the not all the way back, but just in front of the yard pit. And then this guy gets off, and this other guy comes up to me and says, "Did you hear that noise?" Well, yeah. He said that was him throwing up all over the seat, the wall, the window, and stuff. And I said, "Oh, that's what that smell is."
We hang out with the best people.
We do. And so I call it in before I get to the tunnel, and I say, I'm going to need some support when I get to Convention Place. And see, our bosses, which are the supervisors, they get paid more than us. And the reason is they have to clean up the poop and puke and pee that is deposited by the great citizens of Seattle.
That's right.
On our bus.
They have arrived.
Yes. And so in the meantime, somebody taken a newspaper and has just kind of thrown it on this area that was pretty thoroughly trashed by this guy. And so the supervisor, so I parked the bus, and the supervisor comes over, and it's John. I don't know if you know who John is. Older guy. Has been a supervisor forever and loved it. I think he's retired now, but he goes, "So what's going on?" I said, "Oh man, I'm sorry. Somebody puked on my bus." He said, "Oh, all right. Well, I'll clean it up." Well, the first thing he does is he goes and he gets, his gloves and stuff. And he doesn't bring a garbage can with him. First mistake. Always, if you become a supervisor, always carry a garbage can with you onto the bus so that when you pick up the newspaper that's full of puke, it doesn't drip all over you.
Ugh.
And you could just so he picks up this wad of paper and puke and and proceeds to take it off the bus. It's dripping on his hands. So he proceeds to throw up.
Yeah.
So he's like, whoa, whoa, and I can see him. And so then he brings the garbage can back. He puts the garbage can down. He said, "Man, this is awful. I even threw up." And I said, "I know, I saw that." And he said, "Well, at least mine tasted like coffee." That just killed me.
I can see why.
So it was.
Yeah. We
So
have great jobs.
We do. We do. Those are the times when you can't do anything else but laugh.
That's true. That's true, man. You know, we're just a little bit above cats, you know. It's natural for cats to throw up. It's natural for humans to throw up. What can you do?
Well, yeah, it would be nice if they could get off the bus first, but
yes, it would. Yes, it would, man.
It would. But the fun thing is that you gather all of these stories over time, and they are just a lot of fun to once you're done with that particular day and time, because then he cleaned it up and he's put some deodorant down and stuff. It still smelled like deodorized puke at that point. So
yeah, you can't really do much about it, you know. Can't really do much about it.
You can't. So, but that's that's the part of the job I loved, and there are lots of parts that I wasn't all that enthusiastic about. But that's okay. That's okay. And you've been doing it. You've been doing it for 4 years, so you are now what I would call a seasoned veteran.
I would consider myself seasoned as well. I used to look at other bus drivers and consider them real drivers, and I was still, gaining ground or, learning how to do it. Now I look at other drivers and consider myself, I drive. I've driven all those routes. I've had a number of different experiences, and I consider myself fully qualified now.
Yep. And you do a real good job with it.
My life has been threatened 3 or 4 times, and
now, that has never happened to me. I do have to admit, I've never had my life threatened.
Well, you're a nice guy.
Except for that guy with a stick or with a log.
Except for Bigfoot with a shave.
Yeah. Although I have had somebody pour a beer down my fare box. Have you ever had that?
I haven't had that happen.
Oh,
that's a weird thing to do.
It is, but he was drunker than drunk, and I called him on it, and he wanders up to the front and he decides he's going to punch me, but he can't figure out how to get that done. And I threatened to call the police on him and stuff, and so he just takes the beer, and this is what I call a steel reserve malt liquor. Are you familiar with this particular delicacy?
No, I am not.
On Martin Luther King, which is a kind of a ghetto-ish kind of area. They're trying to clean it up, but there are a lot of folks that don't have a lot of money that live there, and so this particular delicacy is in a 24-ounce can, and they charge $1.25.
Oh, that's a nice price. Yes.
That's a nice price because it's what they call fortified malt liquor, which means there wasn't any booze in it until they fortified it. Now there's lots. Lots and lots and lots and lots.
Gotcha.
And it's sticky.
It's sticky stuff. So it's the leftover mouthwash.
Yeah, exactly. And so he poured it down.
Listerine didn't want.
He poured. Well, and. Yeah, exactly. He poured it down my fare box, and so I had to call that in and say my fare box is trash because the guy put a beer down it. Really? Well, I did a emergency, but I hit the EA, which is the emergency button. I had time to fight off this guy who was going to put beer down my fare box. knocked the beer out of the bus. He followed to pick up what was left of the beer because you can only waste so much of $1.25. It's really important that you save some of that money. So he staggered off of there. I shut the door and I went to the next stop, dropped somebody off, went to the next stop, picked somebody up, went to the next stop, and then they called me.
Wow.
It's like, he put a beer down my fare box. I feel personally violated. And not only that, but if he had something like, I don't know, like a knife or a gun or something, he could have shot me in the amount of time it took for you guys to call me back.
That's right.
And they were like, well, we're busy here. We got 200 people that are just stupid like you. So
that's the run of the numbers, man. That's the run of the numbers, Private Ryan.
Exactly. So I'm sorry if we need to take out insurance because apparently we are killing Paulette.
Yes, killing me today. I had a drunk. Sometimes they're entertaining. They're not always mean and nasty and confused. I had this guy get on the bus on Fremont Avenue again, by the way, and he had this big old grin on his face, and I was intrigued when I saw him. He was a little guy, and he had a huge smile, and I thought, well, this is different. And then I figured out, that he was drunk and he was also wavering a bit. And I pull up, how our doors, we have double doors, so they're more than 3 feet, right? So he takes aim.
I hated it.
And he steps up and he hits one side of the doors, on the left side, and he bams into one side of the door and he steps back and he's shocked and he gets a big smile on his face and he takes aim and he hits the other side. And he steps back and his arms go up like this and he laughs. And then he gets his bearings and he stops and he jumps back up onto the bus with both things and he lands, and he's stumbling. And he walks back. And it was so funny that I just started laughing. When was the last time you laughed at a drunk guy? I can't remember the last time I laughed at a drunk guy, but this was the first time in years that I laughed at a guy that was drunk. Because he was funny.
Yeah, just an aim right for the middle there between the two doors. That's right. See if you can aim right for the middle there. That would be good.
It was wonderful. And he got off, when it was time for him to get off at the stop, he aimed perfectly. You could see him get up off his seat and he was real slow. He's following his steps like this, making sure they were all right. And he just went through the door, concentrated. He got off. It was wonderful. He still had that big smile on his face. It was amazing.
It's I have no words.
What do you say?
But it would be a really great study to have because some of these stories are entertaining. But it would be fun to have a TV show built around, kind of like Taxi was, only around buses and stuff. You're the writer. You should come up with something like that. What's the matter with you?
Well, I'm still working on the book. I know there's a guy on the East Coast that's working on such a thing. I don't know where he's at on it. I read his book. I wish him well.
Yes, that would be really cool.
Yes.
Is that you?
That was my phone.
Your phone was on? How unprofessional.
I'm sorry. It's never done that before. Nobody calls me. I've had a call for months. That's why I looked. Like, what was that?
Well, it's funny when I first started doing radio, doing broadcasting, I went to KKNW, which is a station up in Bellevue, and I would sit in the studio, and it's really is a great place. It's on the 5th floor. One of these days we need to have you on for a Sunday show and invite you up there. And it's the 5th floor of a beautiful building in Factoria. You can see Seattle. You can see Bellevue. You can see the Olympic Mountains. It really is pretty. And what the hell was I going to say?
Oh, my phone rang.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, that's right. That's right. It's really pretty. I'm having Alzheimer's, just so you know. We have there's a sign that's on the wall. When you go there, you'll see it. It says, "Turn off your cell phone." In 2003, the station had switched over from an automated CNN feed broadcast to being a block programming station. And they had people that you could buy time on the station, and then you could go and create whatever show you wanted. I created Positive Talk, and I left my cell phone on so many times that the board operator put this sign up there. And when we go there, I say, "That's my sign," because I had I learned. Of course, I was going to say I learned early on to turn off your cell phone, which of course mine isn't, because fewer people call me than call you. I'm willing to bet. We should make a bet about that.
Yeah, we should. I'll bet I would win.
No,
well, we all need to leave a mark in the world. You came up with the sign.
Exactly. No, what I'll do is I'll call Paulette, and I'll call Rick, and I'll call Mary, and I'll say, you need to call him. He's having a personal catastrophe, and then you folks need to call him, and then I'll win. And so,
God, you're devious, man.
Yeah. Anything to win a buck. I'll do whatever I have to do, because I know if you get 3 calls, I win, because
is that right?
Oh yeah, nobody calls me. People will text me and stuff, but my kids apparently don't know how to use the telephone.
And that's strange, because kids, are born with phones in their hands now. They're just bypassing electronics. Because I heard now, birth rate in 2020 have included. Samsung got in on this. It was I think it was, they were talking about birth. They were trying to grow their market, so they figured out how to get into insemination process so that their new customers were just born with a phone. So their process is now all their kids are born with a phone. Now, nobody really knows how they accomplish this, but the kids are coming out, instead of the doctor spanking their butts when they come out and the kid going, wah, they just text back, "I'm here." And that's how it works. "I'm here." And the doc says, "Oh, good. And thank you. How do I get a hold of Google Play?" And they, the doctor says, "Well, here's the app." And the kid, "I know that. Here's Minesweep." And then they get started on their day. So that's how the birthing process starts now.
Do you know this for a fact? Have you?
That's an absolute fact. It's a little known fact.
Apparently.
I may be the only one that knows it, but it's one that's going to get out soon. It's right up there. I learned this on QAnon.
Oh, no. We're not going to. We're not. We're not going to talk. That was Eric Hall, HALL. We can get into a lot of trouble here.
Can we with QAnon?
No, just with just about anybody. We can. So
that's true.
It is great fun. And by the way,
that would confuse a lot of fathers, wouldn't it?
Yes, indeed. And now I was fortunate enough. I'm gonna go into another story here, I'm afraid. I was fortunate enough to witness both of my children being born.
Oh,
with Mary. We have a mutual
baby with Mary.
Well, no, she came along just to hold. She came along to hold my wife's hand so I wouldn't have to.
Oh, sweet.
No, because we were at their house and so she just came along. But Mary had the cutest line of anything, and I'm not going to say which one it was because I don't want to out them right here. But Mary, their first child was a female, so she'd never been to the live birth of a boy.
Is that different?
What yeah.
I mean,
do I need to give you an anatomy lesson?
Well, we don't come out first that way, do we? I mean, I know we go in first that way, but we don't come out first that way.
No, we don't. No, we come out head first, but not that one. But the original size of that particular organ can be abnormally large for a baby of that size.
People have been telling me that my whole life.
Yeah, I know, and people have been telling him that his whole life too.
Oh my goodness!
But because we had not,
Rick was bragging.
No, he wasn't there. But so we were talking about having a baby and all of that, and she'd never been part of the birth before. And when he came out, first of all, his head clears, and then his shoulders clear, and then his torso clears, and then oh my God, that's what Mary said when his waist cleared, which caused me to look. See, when I was birthing the children, and I wasn't birthing. I stayed. My rule was everything below her neck, let them worry about. So I wasn't gonna look. But when Mary said, "Oh my God," I did look, and oh my God, so
he is a McConnell.
Yeah. So where did you get that type of? Never mind. I'm not. I could get myself into so much trouble right now. I think I'm going to have to behave.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Oh, I'm going to have to talk to her about that one.
She'll remember. Trust me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. In detail, she can remember.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because her baby was a girl so she hadn't been at a live birth of a boy. So
yeah.
So in any event, you are, we actually should invite Paulette onto the show just for fun.
Yes, we should.
Do you think she'd do that?
Paulette?
Yeah. I'm waiting, Paulette. We're waiting for you to respond. So, but that would be fun to have her on and stuff. But and the other thing that I want to do is I want to have like everybody that's involved with the show do a day where like a Monday or something, and then we have and be on the air for like 4 hours or 5 hours straight, and have everybody come in at different times that is part of the program and part of the show. Would that be fun?
That'd be a lot of fun. Like a marathon.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like a marathon and stuff like that.
A day at the Independence Report.
Exactly. And she is actually pretty smart, as a matter of fact.
That's just life-saving right there.
It is. It is. She's smarter than either of us, apparently. So that's good.
A woman that apparently does not like Oreo cookies.
Boy, yeah, I'm gonna. Officer, I don't know what's gotten into him. But it seems like it's going down the rabbit hole.
Rabbit hole.
So, listen to you. So this is what we're gonna do every week. If you like what you're hearing, now Paulette's here, but the others will be listening later on. So if you like what you hear, please. What is she saying?
What?
I don't know. But if you like this, give us a like, give us a subscribe to us, and because I'm going to make Eric do this all the time. He's just too much fun.
I had a good time. And hello, Kenya.
And we're waiting for Well, he still works at Metro, so
For the moment.
for the moment, yeah. And then he's going to go back to Kenya, but he tells me that he can get me hooked up with any one of 100 ladies over there, and
I said that.
no, my friend from Kenya.
Oh, nice.
So you and I can both go over there, and we can pick us out a couple of young fillies.
Wonderful. I love the food in Kenya too.
Haven't you noticed they're all skinny? They don't eat there.
Well, that's we could use some of that, Kevin. We could be honest about that. A week or two in Kenya would probably do us some good.
I think you're speaking for yourself there, young man. Yeah. So, I know I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because it'll take a while to get back out. So, is there anything you'd like to add and projects coming up, things you're working on that you'd like people to know about?
Let's see. Got jury duty on the 21st of April. That'll be fun to talk about when I come back.
Yeah.
It'll be my first time ever doing jury duty. That's the only project that I have in the works, besides all my other stuff. I'm writing a new story for a presentation in summertime. I'm looking forward to that. It'll be sort of a Native American sci-fi thing. Still continuing to work on the other two books. I'm getting closer all the time. At some point, I really will get them done.
Do you live with a bird?
No, but I have a really cool clock.
Oh,
it's an Ottoman clock. And it's
That's
got
cool
a different bird for every hour and every half hour. The little bird song.
That's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah. So, Eric, it's been great fun. I'm going to do. By the way, if you're listening or going to be listening here shortly, I'm going to do another podcast in 10 minutes or so, and another one at 4:00, and the next one is with Coriel, and we're going to be talking about flower essences. If you would like to learn more about that, and then at 4:00, we're going to talk to a astrologist, somebody that can read the stars for you. So you can tune in then. So you can tune in then too, Eric.
Yes, I'll look forward to that. Thank you.
So let's see, it's in the, let's see, this is too much fun. Let me know when they and Eric will be here all week. Make sure you tip your waitress and enjoy the view.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
And everybody have a great day. And Eric, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Kevin. It's been fun. Look forward to next week.
Yes, Transients. That's Eric Hall. He is the man. So everybody take care, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Right here on My Independence Report.
Hi, my name is Kevin McDonald.
No, we're starting. We're ending. We're not beginning.
Hey, and thanks for listening to this episode all the way to the end. Hey, pretty cool. Hey, don't forget to follow us so you can receive regular updates and new posts. And remember, take care of each other because each other's all we got. See you next time on My Independence Report.